Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, and oh my god, it's this time of year again! I don't know how it's crept up on me so quickly, but yeah, today's the day of the first semi-final of Eurovision 2017. What?! Well, anyway, as is tradition for Eurovision week, well, I've already done my preliminary days of content. This is the main body of Eurovision week, so today I'll be doing a pre-show review of the first semi-final, and then tomorrow post-show review with my live reactions to the qualifiers and everything. That's kind of why I got the camera that I used for the revamped re-review, if you watched that. Yeah, I'll be using that and some good lighting and a decent microphone to actually capture my reactions to the qualifiers this year. That'll be tomorrow, and then Thursday, another pre-show review with, predictions, analyses of running orders and all of that good stuff, and then Friday, reaction, and then Saturday, pre-show review of the final, and then Sunday, post-show. You get the idea. So, here's the thing. This is my fourth year of doing this now. Yeah, 2014, 15, 16, and 17. Yeah, this is my fourth year of doing pre-show reviews, and I can never remember how I do them. All I know is I look at the show's running order and talk about that and my expectations for the show, I guess. It was easier last year because I had Europe Skello 8 here with me and she could give ideas to me and give me a good sense of pacing for the video, which is not here this year because she has a life and she doesn't have to do stuff with me. I'm rambling. So anyway, I have with me my very own scorecard, which I made myself, which, okay, it was a tie-in for my radio show, hence why it's got the radio station logo at the bottom, and the link to download that exact, well, maybe not this exact score sheet, because this one actually still has Russia on the back, because this is my first draft of it. I printed it off as soon as I made it, and I've had to since do a version without Russia, so yeah. Follow the link in the video description to download a score sheet of your own, as made by me, for my radio show, but I mean, you can use it anyway, because it's still for the semi-final. But you know what I mean? I'm advertising a thing what I made that you can also use for your own self. Yeah. I made this and you can use it, although I printed mine out in black and white because I didn't realise it was going to print in black and white, but it is in full colour, don't worry about that. So, first semi-final, being opened by Sweden. Right. I have a thing about this, right? So, for some years, I've complained that the EBU, ever since the EBU has been given the ability to determine the running order by hand for each show, which I don't have any problems with that. I like that it is still random as to which half who's in, and I'm okay with the EBU hand-selecting the running order, but there are some countries that seem to have it a lot easier than others. Like, the UK, for example, for every year that it's not been randomly determined, the UK has been given absolute garbage running order slots. Hopefully that'll change this year, but, last year we were almost at the end. The year before we were near the beginning, which, okay, I mean, Electro Velvet, fair enough. And then the year before that, we were put at the very end of the show, which slaughtered any chance we had. And don't use Il Volo as the counterexample because they were hyped to f***ing back. So, anyway. Sweden is like the opposite of that. They're always getting good running order draws, mysteriously enough. And I feel as though they're opening the show so that people can say, oh, look, Sweden's up first. They don't always get perfect running order draws. Well, can we have a few more of these, please? Just so it's fair on everyone else, because Sweden is one of those countries where people find excuses to like the song every single year, where if they send it for another country, they maybe might not like it so much. So Sweden can get away with having crappy running order draws and they'll still be no worse for wear. Jeez. As for the actual performance, I'm heartened to see that he's not allowed to start fully backstage. He has to start off stage and then walk onto the stage, so it's not exactly the same as Melodifestivalen, because it's always struck me as really arrogant how Sweden never changes their staging between Melodifestivalen and Eurovision. Like, they think that the Melodifestivalen stage is so perfect that if a performance is optimised for that, it must be optimised for any stage, and that's not the case. I'm sorry, this is coming across as a rant. Well, I've heard nothing but good things about his rehearsals, so I'm expecting a fairly slick opening performance, even if the song itself isn't necessarily to everyone's tastes, but it's sort of mid-table for me, so Second up is Georgia. Don't really have anything to say. Like, I had that massive rant about running orders and Sweden, and feeding into Georgia, I don't really have anything to say. I do appreciate the Georgian song. I know it was really low in my top 43, but that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate it. I mean, I would say it was in my top 10 at one point, but that's because it was the second song chosen. Or third? Second? I think it was second. So it will have been in my top 3 at some point, but it fell fairly quickly, but that doesn't mean that I don't like it. And once again, I'm expecting a decent, classy performance from Tamara? Taco. I'll just call her Taco, because that was her name in the national final. I don't know what to expect, really, because I've seen the rehearsals, nothing really stood out to me, but at least they've ditched what they had in the national final, where it was like, oh, Russia declares war, and blah blah blah. Like, maybe putting provocative headlines in the background isn't the best idea in a year like this, so I'm glad to see that they've removed that, basically. Other than that, it should be good. I don't think it'll be quite as visually crazy as Georgia last year, but it should still be an entertaining 3 minutes. Third up is Australia. All I know is the background behind him is kind of uninspired, but he's got like a lazy Susan on the stage with him, so it's like a circular treadmill, so he'll just sort of keep walking and he's not going anywhere, but he is, and I don't know, maybe there's like a metaphor in there. It's an interesting idea. I wouldn't have thought of it if I'd been put in charge of the staging for the song, so, you know, credit to the production team. I feel as though Australia, I think they deserve to do well this year. Like, this time they don't have all the hype of the so-called dummy army. Like, people who like the song are in favour of the song because they like the song, not just because they like the artist. So, I feel as though Azai's got a bit more pressure on his shoulders because people won't believe that his song is pure gold from the outset just because of stuff he's done before. But I think he can pull his weight, because I've heard some people say, oh, he might not be up to the task. I think he will be, because Australia always sends really quality stuff, so I expect big things from them. I think, is this the earliest Australia's ever performed? I think it must be, because I seem to recall Australia being fairly late in last year's semi-final. I don't know. So it's going to catch some UK viewers off guard because, oh, why is Australia still here? Because they've earned it, goddammit. So, yeah, I wish them the very best of luck. Albania, after that. Well, my mother likes the Albanian song, and this is another one where I feel bad for having it so low in my top 43, because I appreciate it. I just feel as though it could have been so much more, but they didn't revamp it, they just translated it, and that's kind of a shame, but I have seen her rehearsals. She's a really good live vocalist, and I do like the background behind her with the clocks and the flying ship cities. That's the thing with Albania. No matter what sort of song they send, they always have really good graphics, in my experience, so apparently Albania produces good graphic designers or something? I don't know. Again, it's not something that I would have thought to do with the live performance, so good for them. Although, maybe I would have done because it was a music video as well, but I don't know. I like the aesthetic. I like the whole steampunk flying ship, also there as a clock kind of thing. That is pleasing to me. Rambles. Performing fifth, Belgium. Why are people being so mean to Blanche? Like, yeah, okay, some of her rehearsals haven't been great. Apparently her jury final performance was fine, so that's the only one that really matters until tonight. And I feel as though people are being really unfair against her. Like, if you have any other mediocre Eurovision performance, people are just like, well, you know, better luck next time. But with Blanche, it's like, oh no, you got one note wrong and sounded really nervous, you must die. Like, calm down, press! Seriously. I genuinely don't understand where all the bitterness is coming from. Is this because she was one of the favourites until people heard her live? Because if so, that's still a really childish way of dealing with it. Like, so an artist isn't performing as well as you wanted them to. Insulting them's only going to make it worse! I mean, seriously. She sounds like, in the rehearsals that I've heard, she performs either really well or really nervously. And telling her that she's garbage and that she gets what she deserves is only going to make that worse. Be nice to her, damn! All the other artists who haven't been performing up to scratch, they haven't received this much hate. I don't know, maybe it's just because she's, like, just a little bit younger than me, so I'm getting kind of, maybe not Big Brother defensive, but, like, jeez, people have been really unfair from what I've seen. So, calm down. Immediately following her is Montenegro. Well, the first rehearsal wasn't very encouraging because he was just sort of stretching around the stage and shouting, but it seems to have improved since then. If this qualifies, I will be surprised, but then again, I feel like this might get a decent televote from a very specific sector of the UK. I don't know. If I didn't understand the lyrics, like if I didn't speak English at all, then I think I'd enjoy this song more, but even then, it's just a bit kind of plain disco, but understanding the lyrics, it's like aggressively flirty disco, and I'm sort of not about that life, but hey, I mean, Slavko, he is an artist with a capital A, and he's got, like, A+ self-confidence, so I applaud that. It's not something that I'll be voting for, but he may still put on an entertaining performance. I would expect nothing less from him. Immediately following Montenegro is Finland, and from what I've seen in the betting odds, Finland are absolutely one to watch. Norma John, well, to be fair, I think it's just Lena doing the vocals because Lasse is just there on the piano, but still, between them they have a really nice dynamic going on, or lack of dynamic, I guess, because she's doing the singing, he's at the piano, but they work really well together on stage. Her vocals are on point. Obviously, the piano solo is gorgeous. I really look forward to seeing what they use in the recap, because if they use just the piano solo, it may sell the song short. If they just use the vocals, it'll be technically impressive, but might not give a decent idea of the atmosphere of the song. I don't know. My only disappointment factor with that, my beef point, if you will, is that it is kind of the same as Uden Musiikin Kilpailu, but a bit bigger. But then again, I feel as though Finland last year probably would have done a bit better if they'd kept the Uden Musiikin Kilpailu staging, because it had like the weird, crazy diagonal letterboxes, and it had a bit more of an identity. So, I don't know, maybe they've learned from their mistakes. I expect Finland will probably do decently, and deservedly so. And then there's Azerbaijan. I said that Slavko is an artist with a capital A. Well, this is art with a capital A from what I've seen. So, Dihaj hasn't put a foot wrong vocally as far as I've heard, but her staging is her in like a 3-walled box made of chalkboards, and the lyrics of the song are sort of written on there haphazardly, and there's a stepladder, and there's a guy with the horse for a head. Well, a horse's head, not like an entire horse for a head. That'd be even weirder. I don't see the connection, but if she performs it with conviction, I feel like she can make it work and people won't question it. Like, she'll be so in the moment, like, yes, I can only trick you once, bad boy, and people won't question the horse until afterwards. It's what TV tropes calls fridge logic. Like, you don't realize anything's weird until you get up and go to the fridge for a snack, and then while you're there, you're like, hang on a minute, was that a horse on a stepladder? So I feel like she can make it work. If any country can do it, I think it's Azerbaijan, in terms of making the staging that weird but still sensible, if you know what I mean. I don't know. And there's Portugal. I feel like some people are going to expect me to absolutely tear into the song, but like, no, I respect Salvador's credibility as an artist. I just don't personally enjoy the song. Other people do, and that's entirely fine. They're allowed to. It's not something that I'm inclined to vote for. If his performance genuinely does blow me away, then I will vote for him. I don't expect to at this point, simply because I don't enjoy the song, but that doesn't mean that I've completely written it off. What I don't appreciate is people just parroting, oh, it's gonna win. No. Give the other songs a chance, because, now, this is a legitimately open question, and if my opinion on the song is in any way wrong, then I want to understand why it's wrong so that I can correct it. So, if you disagree with what I think, then please, let's have a discussion, rather than just insulting me and calling me stupid names, because some people have done. I've been collecting mean comments on that front. I might make a video on it at some point, because they're hilarious, seriously. But let's have a discussion. For example, I've heard Slovenia's song this year described as old-fashioned, but, like, open question, obviously this isn't loaded one way or the other. I just genuinely want to know, what makes Slovenia's song old-fashioned but Portugal's timeless? Like, why is Slovenia's not timeless? Why is Portugal's not old-fashioned? That's something I want to reconcile in my head, because if I understand that, then I might have a greater appreciation for the song. If you appreciate the song, then please, talk to me. I want to understand. Because for the moment, I'm not crazy about it, but other people are. Fair enough to them. It's just not to my tastes, but that doesn't mean, for crying out loud, that I have a narrow-minded taste in music. I don't enjoy this particular song. That doesn't mean that I'm incapable of enjoying songs like it, because I know some people are really kind of dodgy about people who don't like this song, so can we all just be nice, celebrate diversity, you know, celebrate diverse opinions diverse from your own? Just throwing that one out there. Greece in position number 10. Apparently, in the jury final, she didn't go for the high notes in the chorus, so instead of, this is love, she was like, this is love, but maybe not that deep. I have a terrible singing voice when I'm not trying, but she didn't go for the high notes on the word this is love, or the love in this is love. And from what I've heard, the consensus is better to have a bland note than a high note that could go wrong. Maybe she's saving herself for tonight. I don't know. This could go one of two ways for her. She might, like, that might have killed her chances with the jury, but if she has saved herself and she can pull it off, it might sell it decently with the public. I don't know. Apparently she also got to perform twice in the jury final because something went wrong with the vocals. I don't know. Supposedly it's because the backing singers' microphones weren't up enough, but then in the reprise they put the microphones up for the backing singers too much. I don't know. I wasn't really watching the jury show, so I can't say for certain. So this is going to be an interesting one, because some people are saying, oh, Greece might drop out. That's not what happens. Like, she might qualify, she might not. I don't know. If this were any other Eurovision year, she'd be a safe qualifier, but we'll have to see how she performs. But then again, you don't say. That's exactly how semi-finals work. Poland. Off the back of that, don't really have anything to say. It's an impressive song. It's got bold instrumental choices towards the end that sound like it's building up to a chorus that never comes. I've not heard anything bad said about her live vocals, so should be adequately impressive. She was the first of the fake qualifiers in the jury final, so I expect she'll probably qualify quite easily. It's Poland. Don't know what that was. Then after her is Moldova. Similarly, not heard a bad word said about them. The staging, from what I've seen, looks interesting. The live vocals seem fine. I imagine this will probably garner a lot of televoting support, especially from the UK, but still, I look forward to seeing it with my own eyes. But yeah, no comments there. Iceland is another one. Apparently the transition from Moldova to Iceland is really smooth in the live show, so again, no real comments. Like, all the controversial ones are sort of over and done with in the first half of the show. So I feel like Iceland could go one of two ways, but I'm going to reserve talking about the predicted qualifiers until the end of the video, so stick around. I'm getting there. I'm rattling through these last ones because there's not really much to say. The Czech Republic. Apparently her jury final performance was really good, but people aren't so sure of her staging, because from what I've seen, she had this weird kind of rose gold emergency blanket outfit on, and I don't really understand that, but if she can make it work, once again, if she performs it with conviction, people won't question it, I don't think. So, I've grown really fond of this song in the past couple of weeks, and I really wish I'd put it higher in my top 43, but there are a load of good songs this year, so I can understand why I didn't. So it'd be a shame not to have this in the final, because Czech Republic, they need some more representation. She's a good, it's a really sweet song. She is a good, yes. And then there's Cyprus. Apparently the live performance, like with the choreography and the camera work, is like the most technically complicated of the evening. I don't know what to expect. All I know is the backing dancers push him back and forth a little bit because gravity. Once again, not really much to say. I expect it to be interesting to watch. I expect it to qualify. That's it, really. Armenia, similarly. Intricate stage performance and amazing live vocals. Apparently people have suddenly said, oh, Armenia might win. Bearing in mind how late this hype has come for the song, I don't see that happening, but you never know. This is Eurovision. Anything could happen. So I look forward to seeing how it's staged, because this is, as I said when the song was chosen, a song that is very much suited to live staging. So I look forward to seeing what she's got for it, because it looks like it's going to be good from the rehearsal footage, and people are adequately hyped for it, so it might be a safer qualifier than I give it credit for. We shall just have to wait and see. Then there's Slovenia, and well, that just brings me back to what I was saying before. Why is this old-fashioned and not timeless, and Portugal's timeless but not old-fashioned? That's just something that I want to reconcile in my head. Other than that, apparently Omar's had flawless live vocals from what I've heard, because his performance in the national final was really good, and now they've made the song a bit lower, so that might make him even more prone to performing it well. I don't know. I admit I don't see this qualifying, because it hasn't had the most support. It came last in the combined top 43 that I ran earlier this month with, like, he did the on average worst across, like, 55 different top 43s, so I don't expect good things, but he at least deserves recognition for his live vocal capabilities. And then finishing the show, we draw a line under the show with Latvia's line. The staging looks like it's going to be a much bigger, much more impressive version of the Supernova performance with the sort of glow-in-the-dark paint kind of aspect. It looks like it should be interesting, like a combination of last year's stages for Cyprus and Georgia, but it's still got a unique identity, but just roughly a similar kind of, the band is there are these photo frames with neon paint on them and that good stuff. I expect to be impressed, but I don't know whether to expect it to qualify, because it's good dancing music, it's good listening music, but is it good competitive music? I don't know. But her live vocals, the lead singer's live vocals, have supposedly really improved with the various rehearsals, so I don't know. Like I said, anything could happen. And then, of course, there's the semi-interval act where we have about 1 minute of each of the big five performances that are voting in the semi-final. So Italy, it's the Sanremo performance again, basically, like right down to the graphics behind him. Spain looks really cute, like the background, the CGI beaches and stuff. And then there's the United Kingdom, which is apparently amazingly impressive to the point that Lucy's been shooting up in the betting odds, so fingers crossed she might do us proud on the night of the grand final, but that's not really relevant to this semi-final. So I'll do what I do every year and give you 2 10s here. First of all, the 10 countries that I want to qualify, but this isn't my prediction. This is the 10 that in an ideal world I would want to have in the final. And honestly, I could do this a number of times, and the answer would be different every single time. So I think off the top of my head, in no particular order, I would want to see in the final Australia, Belgium, assuming that she can get her live performance to be good, Finland, Azerbaijan, Moldova, the Czech Republic, Cyprus, Latvia, Armenia, and... oh, who else do I have? I'm going to go with Poland, because that is a really engaging 3 minutes. So those are the 10 that I would like to see in the final, but even if those 10 did qualify, I would still be sad, because there are still some good songs that would miss out on the final with that being the case. Now, my actual prediction, my official laying down a formal prediction of who I think will qualify tonight, and I have no confidence in this whatsoever, but I can rest easy knowing that because 8 countries will be eliminated, that means that no matter how I guess, I will be at least 20% accurate. So, my formal guess for tonight's proceedings. I'm going to say Sweden, Australia, Finland, Azerbaijan, Portugal, Armenia, Greece, Poland, Moldova... Did I already say Cyprus? If I already said that, I'll put on screen what I actually wanted to say just now. It's like, I can't make a reasonable prediction. It's such... This semi-final is evil! But in the best possible way. There are so many good songs. No matter what happens, there will be good songs that miss out. And there will... Well, I was about to say there'll be bad songs that will make it. No, that's not what I mean at all. No matter what happens, like, there are more than 10 final-worthy songs in this show. So there will be disappointments no matter what. We can only hope that the best possible result comes. And as you can see, I expect Portugal to qualify. If they don't, I won't lose any sleep over it, but I can understand if you're upset. But at this point, with all the hype, I expect it to be in the final. Obviously, Sweden's going to make it. It's just, when you get to the second half of the show, that's when I get less sure, because I really want to see the Czech Republic in the final, but I don't know if it'll be out-hyped. But then there's also the question of Greece and Belgium. If their live vocals aren't up to scratch, they could miss out quite easily, because that's another thing. In any top 43s where Belgium ranks even remotely highly, you can guarantee the top comment in the comment section underneath will be, oh yeah, well, she might not even qualify. I know! That's how semi-finals work! Congratulations, you understand the format. So, I've got my fingers crossed for Blanche, but if her live performance is terrible, then I won't vote for her. If it's really good, then I might. That's how voting works, funnily enough. As for who I definitely will vote for, I can't say with any certainty at this point because, well, I haven't seen the show yet. So, yeah, I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and when you next hear from me, we'll know who the qualifiers are. So, join me tomorrow for the post-show review of Semi-Final 1. See you then, and enjoy the show.